Obey the NWO.
Moving forwards, using all my breath. Making love to you was never second best. I saw the world crashing all around your face. Never really knowing it was always mesh and lace. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
Welcome everyone to the Nerd World Order podcast. This is Abel, and joining me as always is my co-host and co-conspirator CJ.
Hello.
Not Barker around us this week. The NWO is where we're trying to take over the world.
Fuck those guys. Pull question.
By spreading the weekly pop culture news from across different genres, which include movies, comics, TV shows, or anything that we consider nerd. The Nerd World Order podcast, your greatest pooper Tim. This is 2017. Alright guys, welcome back to another week. We're at show 90 of the Nerd World Order, and thanks for sticking with us. We really appreciate that. That's it's quite a milestone. 10 shows away to show 100.
Yeah. And if you haven't listened to all 90, I'm judging you.
Judging these shit out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you deserve it.
Do you deserve it? Poll question.
You do.
Alrighty, CJ. Well, I guess before we get into the drink of the show, what have you been up to?
I haven't listened to all 90. Fucking watching the shit out of Stranger Things. Obviously, which obviously we're going to get to.
Yeah.
But that's how I literally have spent my weekend. So.
Nice. What have I done? I've watched a movie that I'm going to talk about, things that we need to see, watch, or whatever. And then besides that, we threw Jasmine a party with the family, and then that's exhausting. And then
Well,
just...
Jasmine's family's like half of Garden. So
yeah, it's quite a bit, yeah. So, that was a thing. And then picking up and all that. So, yeah, that was my weekend. I guess we'll get into the drink of the show. It was
You know what I just realized?
What'd you realize?
I haven't been to the theater in like 3 weeks. That's super weird for me.
I went yesterday.
Yeah, that's super weird. I usually go like twice a week, and I haven't been in like 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you watch last week?
Nothing. The last 3 weeks, probably.
Oh, what's the last thing you watched? Lion King? No, you didn't watch Lion King.
Child's Play.
Oh, yeah?
Which has been how long? Like
that was the same week.
A month.
That was the same weekend as Toy Story.
That's what it was.
Really?
That's weird. That's crazy. Oh, shit. Sorry. My bad. No one knows what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
no, and then... This is the first time CJ's ever done a podcast. He's like, yep.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
Well, it's cool, though. You know... I do think we're more dynamic and have better chemistry with 3 people, but when it's 2 people and we have these badass mics out, it sounds so nice, dude. It sounds so good.
It sounds like sex. It's awesome.
I think we've talked about it before. It sounds like dick in your ear. Like,
yeah, hell yeah. Put all the dick in my ear.
Oh, baby.
Put all the dick in my ear. Pull question.
Come in my ear. Cream pie in my ear.
That's totally a thing. You know that's a thing.
It might be a thing. I've
That's
never looked it up.
definitely a thing.
Well, I guess I know what I'm looking up tonight.
Is that a thing? Pull question. It definitely is.
All right, so CJ, you bought drink of the show. What'd you get? One that you haven't totally opened already. Definitely haven't opened.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having my first one. I've never had it before, ever. It is called Sam Adams, which is a great brewery. Sam Adams is fantastic.
Whitney's gonna be like, Sam Adams.
Yeah, I know, but Whitney's an elitist. You know what? Whitney's an elitist about every single thing. Like, if we talked about cars, you'd be like, oh, you guys, you don't even know about the Pontiac 77.
My American.
Yeah, no matter what we would talk about. Is Whitney an elitist about everything? Pull question.
Are you gonna open that before that one?
Which one?
You haven't finished that one.
That's crazy talk. I've never even had this in my life ever.
Here.
First time I've ever drank it or anything. That's funny. Right. But yeah, this is Sam Adams Summer Ale.
It's pretty good.
It is good. Kind of citrusy.
It does say citrus wheat ale. Where's my phone?
You can taste the lemon, which I think you need for a summer.
Can you taste the lemonparty.org?
Go to that. That's awesome.
I'm not gonna go to it. You guys can go to it. Are you guys gonna go visit lemonparty.org? Poll question.
You know you have to link that now. It's like that's
No, I'm
gonna
not
link.
gonna
No, but that's going to link when you pull up the poll question. Which.
Oh yeah, it's fine. No, I'll take that.
All right.
All right. Cool.
You guys better click on that. It's
Yeah.
great.
If you haven't, that was such a high school thing.
Oh yeah.
Dude, go to lemonparty.org. What is it, dude? No, check it out for real. And then I'm like, all right. It's kind of like when I watched Two Girls, One Cup for the first time. I'm like, huh?
Did you guys do the round and round?
Yeah.
Whatever, that one? That was pretty great.
Cameron showed me. And, dude, like, for real, I don't know where he got it from, but this is exactly where he's like, dude, I found this website that can locate you exactly where you're at, and I'm like, no, you're.
That's how they got me, I think.
Yeah, I was like, no, dude, you're an asshole. He's like, no, for real, watch, check this out. And it's in dummy website, and he puts in, we were at his house, and he puts this address right, and then the satellite like zooms from space and then to the U.S.
Oh, that's right.
And then into Kansas. So then you're thinking like, oh shit, maybe. And then it goes into this house, and then it's like, you spin me, and then it's counting. There's a ticker of how many meat spins you sat through. I'm like, oh, dude, this is incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, we did that in my history teacher's classroom. That's the first time I saw that. It was after school. In my history
It for sure is history, isn't it?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. We did a lot of dumb shit like that. Every high school did, probably, honestly. Did you, if you haven't seen Living Party or Two Girls, One Cup, did you even go to high school? Full question. Because I would argue that you did not. What the fuck?
Steve was trending, and I want to know why.
Oh. Whenever you replied to that picture of that dude peeing on his face or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
my first thought was that's Steve-O. It wasn't.
No, it's some YouTuber that's trying to run for office. He's a conservative, and I guess I've seen his tweets before, but I think somebody must have just now found out a video of him pissing in his mouth. So from here on out, any response he ever puts up, it's gonna be him pissing in his mouth.
It should be.
Absolutely.
That's what you should do with that. Fuck that guy.
All right, where was I? Oh yeah, polls from last week.
Hey, just offhandedly, rank your top 5 social media platforms.
Me,
Yeah.
off the top of my head,
Yeah.
Twitter's my favorite.
Of course.
Then Instagram. That's
Why?
2. Just because it's cool to say things.
Instagram seems...
I don't do very much on it, but like it's cool to like.
Instagram to me seems to be the least honest of all social media.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Everybody's in a photo shoot for Instagram.
Yeah.
Like that's absolutely true. But it's fun to see like, I don't know, different because like it the algorithm builds on stuff you've been searching. So I go through a lot of nerd shit. So like it's cool to see people's yeah.
Your Instagram probably is cool. Mine's lame.
Well, but I know what your Instagram is.
Not anymore.
Really?
Yeah, like a month ago, I had this weird wave of conscience.
Really?
And I deleted everything. Yeah. It wasn't for porn, which everyone's now thinking, but pretty much.
Well, Instagram doesn't have porn.
Well, but it's as close as you could get to porn on Instagram. Yeah, but no, I deleted it all, everything.
Well, actually,
now I just follow like artists and stuff. You know what happened? Actually, I saw this tweet, and it was like, "You're dumb for following, like, just models and shit. Follow artists and cool people doing creative things." And that made so much sense. I'm like, yeah, I feel dumb.
Yeah.
There's these girls don't need my support, like, and I can find whatever I'm looking for. Wherever.
And it's not really talent, really.
Yeah, it's
it's
just
not.
being hot.
It's not. Yeah.
And
That's not the talent.
But now the cool part is I follow a lot of fucking cool artists and shit, and like I follow a lot of like nerd artists, and they're all fucking cool.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of great underground or like little like small known artists and stuff. It's pretty fucking cool.
I know we're doing a podcast. But check out my fucking background. Check that out.
That's dope. Somebody drew that?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. And there's another one, which is actually pertinent to today. Awesomely.
can you feel
Check this out.
the love tonight? Oh, that is dope. Because she's in that movie too. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. Can you explain it to the listeners?
It's it's the Godzilla from the Godzilla King of Monsters, and 11 with her hand up in front, just standing in front of him, as though she's doing some telekinetic cool thing.
Which I guess we can get into because later.
It's a pretty dope fucking picture.
Yeah. Alrighty. It took us 10 minutes to get here, but question of the show. Every week we asked you guys to give us some feedback on different questions or different topics that we were talking about. So last week, since we kind of sucked Marvel's dick as we usually do about the...
They deserve it.
Yeah, they do. About the Phase 4 releases, we asked you guys, which Marvel Phase 4 movie are you most excited for? Doctor Strange received 60% of the vote. 20% Thor, and Eternals, Shang-Chi, and Black Widow all got 10%, so...
I wonder if a large part of that is because it's a horror movie, which does actually sound cool.
It does sound cool.
But I bet you a part of that is because of that. I bet.
And then, since it only gives you room for 4, I didn't put Hawkeye because I don't think anybody would have voted for Hawkeye for the TV shows. So, which Marvel Phase 4 TV show are you most excited for? And 43% said What If. So
That's weird. That's the one I want least.
no, that seems the most exciting.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I want things that.
Don't you want to know about alternate timelines and how shit could have shaken out? Yeah.
I want things that are canon. I like canon.
Oh, nah, it's fine.
I mean, I'm not like I'm gonna watch it. Like I'm not anti that. It's just if we're grading on a scale, that's the one I want.
Those poll questions were on Twitter, and then on Facebook you can only have 2 options on the poll on Twitter, so I decided to just like let us know. And then
there's a quick thought. Okay, I'm sorry, on Doctor Strange, I want them to toe the line as close to R-rated as they possibly can, and I hope they do.
like a hard PG-13.
Yeah, and if they do that, I'll be happy. I'll like okay. Like
We get one fuck
if the
and
question,
what head blown away.
something. I mean, yeah, you can't. I don't know how much you can do in the way of violence. Probably they might be towing the line pretty close.
I think you can get away more with violence in a PG-13 movie than like sexuality. I think like once you start like showing tits and stuff, like that's an R.
There's like I think there's like a number amount of blood you can like.
Yeah, there's a number, and then after that it categorizes your movie like in an R and NC-17. Yeah.
But it's close if they push that line. Like if the poll question was Doctor Strange in parentheses movie that will be hard PG-13, I would probably vote for that over Shang-Chi. But if they're just gonna play it safe and like fucking like make it like dumb it down and like make it kid movie and I don't know. Not that I think they will, but if they did that, I'm not here for that.
Well, I have a rule of thumb for myself. If a horror movie isn't R, it's not worth.
That's what I have that same rule.
Yeah.
And there's only like 2 movies that even just do away from that. But if they make it, if they do as close as they can to an actual real horror movie, I would be here for that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And then on Facebook, like I said, there wasn't necessarily a poll, but people let us know. Whitney, who we'll talk to here in a second, he said, "What if?" Laura Alexander put Loki, and then Harlan Pesh. I so hope I'm pronouncing this
What is
right. Peshtoni, What If? So, What If is the
what is the
appeal of What
yeah?
If?
Why? Okay, I guess I understand the appeal, but why above the other things? The other thing, like why would you put that above the Winter Soldier, Captain America? That sounds so much better.
Then the What If, to me, no, it doesn't.
But why?
To me, it's more intriguing to see what would have happened if Thanos won, or stuff like that, rather than like I don't know,
What
Bucky.
happens because he didn't?
Bucky. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess I just love Captain America, but
I don't know.
One thing I am kind of realizing is while I do love Steve Rogers, I love the character, or like the mantle of Captain America. Like that's cool to me.
Well, Falcon's
Because I love
next.
the Falcon. Yeah, so I'm here for the Falcon as Captain America, and I really want to see that. I want to see what happens.
Look, man. I think we're splitting hairs at this point. Like, which one do you want to see most? So, if we had to choose, all right.
Fair point.
Does Barker have any control over this? 100% said no. Should CJ start saying yeet? 67% said neat. 33% said yeet. Did it die? 50-50.
I forgot we did it that way.
Thanks, Shitney. 100% said yes. Do you like Iron Man? 100% said yes. Is life grim? 100% said yes. Do you know anyone who hasn't seen the original Lion King? 60% said no. Does Jon Favreau have his fingers in a lot of holes? 100% said yes. Is Crawl about meth gators? 100% said yes. Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa can fuck or fight? 57% said fight, 43% said fuck. Or both, 100% said yes. Pick one. Affleck, Smith, friendship, Jennifer Lopez's butt. Jennifer Lopez's butt won with 80%.
Get the fuck out of here.
Can Keanu Reeves be a beautiful demon angel of Earth? 80% said yes. Is he just comics, man? 67% said yes. Those are our poll questions. If you want to vote on them, follow us on Twitter at NeuroLoader1, and you guys can tell us what you think.
We have the best polls.
Absolutely, like the best.
Do we have the best polls? Poll question.
Alrighty. Every week, Whitney always gives us his 2 cents on why he's wrong or why he or why he thinks we're wrong but not really, or just ideas on the show in general. So
it's all about perspective. And for us, it's why he's wrong.
And so the next segment is #shit when he says. So, Welp.
Shit when he says wrong.
There you go. I like that one better. Welp started as a typo, but now Parker is permanent. Franklin Richards is totally a mutant. He was born with the godlike powers that manifested when he was a toddler. Read a book. He is not a mutant. He was born out of Sue Richards and Reed Richards. He's not a mutant.
Damn, son, take that in your wiener.
Take that in your wiener, Whitney. Question.
Oh yeah.
I still have to make sure that I'm not drinking anything when that anime minute comes up. That anime minute intro comes up. That's still pretty funny to me to this day.
That's probably the best piece of production we have.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
The Zooey forums are going apeshit for the Lion King movie. There are so many Disney fellows in the industry. The first written evidence of Shakespeare being a person is a playwright's will. Basically, the guy spent the last few days of his life writing pages and pages about how much of a thief and asshole some unknown guy named Shakespeare was. Lions emote and lion emotion. This Shakespearean story reminds me about the oldest evidence of writing on a stone tablet. It was Babylonian. It was multiple pages in stone of a customer complaint regarding a delivery. Humanity has changed so little. Is that true?
Must be. I would assume he knows what he's talking about.
I think I'll be fine reading the lines and motions when I watch Lion King. No, you won't, because they legit, like, it's not. I wasn't anthropomorphic. I wasn't. What's the word I'm looking for?
Anthropomorphic.
No, well that, but I'm over that word. I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't. When you think a dog's having feelings, but you're just really they're your feelings.
Oh, you're projecting?
Yeah, I wasn't projecting my emotions into these goddamn lines. Like, you legit can't. They're like staring into blank canvases. Is what I was trying to get at.
Have you seen that guy who he like kind of draws it like it's live action?
Yeah, but he draws it like the cartoon. Looks so good. Yeah,
so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Why they should have done that?
Look, man, this is getting into the territory where if it ain't broken, don't fix it, kind of thing. So we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, Finding Nemo live action. I'm out.
That would be different.
It would suck. I'll say right now, it would suck, and it would kill the coolness of the movie.
That's a very good movie. You can't do.
I fucking love that movie.
I don't think you can do any of the Pixar movies though, because like, how would you honestly do Toy Story?
Hopefully you wouldn't, but I don't know. Though if they can be fucked up, they might find a way to fuck it up. One thing I am here for: Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs live action.
They're making that one.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's gonna be great.
Oh, short people like,
Yeah.
it's off the work we go.
I'm here for that. And not for all the reasons. Totally all those reasons. Actually, I'm kidding.
You're just picking and choosing now, or what?
Yeah.
Alrighty, before we get into the main meat of the show, Andres, although not here and it hasn't been here for a while now, what was the last show he did? Spider-Man?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. He does always make sure to send me the hottest piece of anime news that the anime world is gushing about. So this week in the Andres Loza Memorial Anime Minute.
君にベイビーシートベリーや本当の気持ちだけ分け合ったらいいのにな願いを叶えてよ
When it comes to anime and censorship, fans tend to have strong opinions on the topic. From gore to sex, adult topics have often been targeted by censors around the world, but the issue has cropped up for some other reasons. Now it looks like Fire Force is being affected by the issue, and fans are not sure what to make of the changes. For those unaware, Fire Force returned from a short hiatus last week to debut a new episode. The anime was delayed a week after Kyoto Animation, one of Japan's premier production studios, was attacked by an arsonist. More than 30 employees at the revered studio died in the fire, and Fire Force chose to delay its next episode out of respect. However, the anime returned this week with some censorship in tow. There you go.
Word. How crazy.
Alright.
I'm sorry, I was not listening. I was looking up this thing. Okay, do you have anything about Into the Spider-Verse sequel or anything?
No.
Okay, so...
Well, hold off. We're about to jump into that segment.
Are we not? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought I was listening. I'm sorry.
So now, this weekend... All right, now...
Okay. So, Shameik Moore...
Who's the voice, right?
Yeah, so a sequel has officially been announced.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're actually going to... Apparently, they're looking into some spin-offs, like the Women of Spider-Man, or of Spider-Women or something, where they're going to have 3 different generations of Spider females, I guess, of which Gwen Stacy will be one. And I guess they're trying to do another thing with different... with all the different characters we were introduced to, whatever. Anyway, Shameik Moore said he wants the Into the Spider-Verse sequel to be half live action, half animated, which will completely... I'm not here for that. I don't want them to do that. And I think he is just looking for a star turn. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, because he wants to be the Spider-Man. Yeah,
right.
Of course, yeah.
But he's like 40 years old.
Yeah, he's not 40. He was in that movie Dope. Have you seen that movie Dope?
No.
It's dope.
It's
really,
dope.
It's really good. Yeah, A$AP Rocky was in it before he was in jail. Like, it's a whole thing.
Rocky.
A$AP Rocky.
Oh, why is that guy in jail? I've heard a lot about him.
He got a fight in Sweden, I think.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Swedish jail is like better than poverty housing.
I was about to say, it's like if I'm gonna go.
It's really not that bad. Yeah, I've seen it. Not like I've been to Swedish jail, but I've seen documentaries and shit. Anyway, Shameik. That's what I was doing while you were reading that. Shameik Moore is pretty old. Dude, he's like... Anyway, okay, regardless of how old he is, he's older than Miles Morales, who's like, what, 17? 24? Okay, shit. Okay, he's 24. Dude looks 40. Look up Shameik Moore.
I know how it looks like.
He looks 40.
He doesn't look that old.
He looks pretty old. He looks older than 24. And I can't be having Shameik Moore's 40-year-old ass flying around pretending to be Miles Morales. Just sound like Miles Morales, and I'm happy.
Although he said that, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like they're gonna keep it animated.
They need
the animation in it was fuck. That is like
it's like one of the best things about the movie.
I was about to say that is like half the reason that movie works is the animation. Because legit, every character from a different universe is a different fucking texture. You know what I mean? The animation was amazing in that they're not gonna cut corners.
They said I read somewhere they had like 10 times the amount of animators working on that movie. I don't know about 10, but something.
Bigger number, yeah.
And it took them a week's worth of work to make a second of animation in that film. But it usually it's like a day for like a minute or something like that.
I heard that movie took like 3-4 years to make, yeah.
And with a shitload of people,
yeah,
like way more people than normal working on it. So
yeah.
they put a lot of
and it looked like it did, like
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That movie is beautiful.
And to take that one thing away, I think is kind of silly.
Yeah.
You get your star turn somewhere else. And you have it anyway. You're a badass voice actor. Who doesn't want I would prefer to be a voice actor.
Dope was dope. So maybe that was his star turn.
What is dope? It probably wasn't. It sounds... I don't know.
A quick synopsis?
Yeah.
Dope was about a movie of... particularly one guy. What was his name again? Shameik, right?
You're so much better at this than I am. Yeah.
Well, no. I will watch. What's his name?
Shameik Moore.
Okay, Shameik Moore. His character is... super infatuated with the 90s and 90s hip-hop and stuff, but it's like modern day, and he's really smart, really nerdy. He's the class president of an inner city school in Los Angeles, and he is getting ready to be accepted to like the biggest schools in the country. But one night out, he's out chasing the girl he likes, and he gets involved with like drugs and stuff, and then he has to find a way to pay back the drug dealer while trying to get into school. Dude, it's a really good movie.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So it's a good movie. Dope stuff.
Maybe this dope.
Yeah.
But don't ruin Miles Morales for me. That won't make it better, right? Okay.
No. It won't make it better. No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing with me. But yeah, I guess the bigger piece of news is that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 is official.
Okay.
So I'm here for that.
Well, we can probably expect that in 5 years or so.
Yeah.
So.
If they make it as good, which it better be.
Until next year.
It's a high bar they've set. That's kind of the problem with sequels, like Kingsman. Like, the bar is set so high, and it is for this movie, certainly. Which, it's almost like we have no choice but to be disappointed. Which kind of sucks. But.
Dark Knight Returns is better than Batman Begins.
You mean Dark Knight?
Or Dark Knight, yeah, Dark Knight.
That's true.
Yeah.
But would you like when you first saw Batman Begins? Like it wasn't like, oh my god, this is incredible. Was it? Was that for you? Because it wasn't for me.
It was for me because where we left off with Batman and Robin.
Okay, well, yeah, when you're comparing it.
And then I really liked Captain America, the First Avenger, and then the Winter Soldier was like, what?
I hated Captain America, First Avenger, so yeah, I didn't like it at all. That was like my least favorite movie.
Well, we ranked them 2 weeks ago, and that's not how you
well,
ranked it.
in retrospect, I've seen it since. With the hindsight of Winter Soldier and stuff, like it becomes better, I think. But just because I fell in love with Captain America, that's what it was. Like that's what it is. But when I first saw the movie, didn't like it.
Because you hated Captain America.
I did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's different.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't think so.
That is just going in hella biased. I hate this character, and I'm gonna hate this movie. How's that not biased?
All right,
yeah, okay. All right, we're gonna get into it. Going further, did you see the trailer for Zombieland 2?
No, I've never seen Zombieland.
You've never seen Zombieland, dude? Oh, that is my.
I've seen 30 minutes of it. I think.
That is such a good movie.
Really?
Yeah, it is a really good movie. I think it's on Netflix.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's.
I'll watch it tonight. I have to stay up all night, so it's fine.
Why do you have to stay up all night?
I'm going to nights, so I'm trying to get on the schedule. I just woke up like a little bit ago.
Really?
Yeah.
So it worked out better for you that we did this later, then, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Then why'd you suggest in the morning then?
Well, I would have done it. I don't know. I'm actually glad you said that because I would not. I finished like at 1:30.
Oh really?
Yeah,
okay, so good. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
But no, dude, Zombieland is such a good movie. It's always been a tie between Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland to see which one is my favorite zombie comedy movie.
Shaun of the Dead's great.
Shaun of the Dead is great. That's how good Zombieland is. It competes with Shaun of the Dead.
That's cool.
It's good. So yeah, we get everybody back. We get Mark Zuckerberg's back. No, what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg.
It's fine. Mark Zuckerberg's better.
Yeah. We get Jesse Eisenberg back. We get Woody Harrelson back. Emma Stone, we get her back, and then Jocelyn Brosnan. What's her name? Anyways, those four. Those four characters back from the original movie back in this one, and it looks good.
Spoiler alert! Now I know none of them die.
Yeah, none of them die.
Lame.
Yeah, but there's no reason to go into it if you haven't seen it. It's just I'm really excited. I really liked Zombieland 1 and Zombieland 2. I'm sure it's going to be just as good. So Zombieland 1, I don't want to give too much away. It has one of the best cameos of all time. Nobody saw it coming. So
Don't worry.
Oh, so you know about it?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. It's been ruined for me.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I've watched it and I'm like, oh shit, because he talks about Bill Murray, how he's his favorite actor and stuff like that. So
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I've never made it to that part. I've sat down and started to watch Zombieland like 4 times. And I don't know what it is. Like, something always happens or something, or I turn it off, or I don't know. I've seen the beginning of Zombieland like 4 times.
It has a really good intro where all the zombies are attacking people and it's Metallica, For Whom the Bell Will Toll. Well,
you know what makes it worse? I've seen it 4 times, don't remember that.
Are you serious?
Did not remember
Alright, time it out. This will change. Alright, we're back. I showed CJ that intro that I really fucking love. So what were you asking me?
Why do you like Zombieland so much?
It's really, really funny. I think it works well as a zombie movie because in every zombie movie you're like, don't be an idiot, don't be an idiot. Well, Jesse Eisenberg's character has 73 rules how to survive the zombie apocalypse, which is why good segue. This movie's called Double Tap, Zombieland 2 Double Tap, because one of his rules is always double tap the zombie. Because in zombie movies, you always see them shoot him once and then he comes back. No, you double tap that asshole. Always check the back seat is my favorite one. So you always got to make sure, because the opening scene, he forgets to check the back seat. Sure enough, there's a zombie. Work on your cardio, because he says the fatties always get caught. Like, dude, it's...
I'm not lasting long. I know this.
So it's a very smart. It's a self-aware zombie movie, and it's really good. It's funny. It's good. Yeah.
All right, I'll watch it.
And Emma Stone. I mean, they're all really good actors. And actually, what the trailer plays on is that they're all Academy Award winning or nominated actors. And
Let me watch the.
Okay.
I'll
All right.
watch it.
Okay. So that's why
Shaun of the Dead did that, but.
Oh, they did do that. Hey, hello. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, but that could be funny.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
it's funny.
yeah. So Zombieland, dude, give it a shot. Watch it. Try to watch it. If you're gonna stay up all night, do it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Y'all do something.
So yeah, we seen new actors that weren't in the first one.
Well, I was planning on watching anime, but I'll make room for it.
Okay.
I don't know that I didn't need to add that at all. That's okay.
Okay. The only other piece of news that I have is the weeks after Comic-Con, particularly the first couple weeks, are really slow because everybody blew their load at Comic-Con, so it's been a slow.
Did everyone blow their load at Comic-Con? Question.
So basically, what the reports are coming back is that Henry Cavill wants to play Superman again.
Well, the floor is very sticky at Comic-Con.
The floors are very sticky. Or what? Was that Dane Cook joke?
At the theater?
Yeah, he's like, oh, the floors are sticky. Yeah, I just came. Yeah. So they interviewed Henry Cavill straight up.
Dane Cook just came? Full question.
Yes, he did. They asked Henry Cavill if he still wants to play Superman. He said yes. So
That's weird. That's contrary to what we've been led to believe, isn't it?
Well, I think it's contrary to what the studio wants. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want Cavill?
I don't know.
That's dumb. You know why? Because they suck at their jobs, and we would do their jobs better.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
why.
Yeah. And well, the rumor is Warner Brothers is buying Bad Robot, and that's J.J. Abrams' company. Bad Robot. They did basically what they're famous for is Lost. What he's famous for is Star Trek and Star Wars. So he's known to reinvigorate franchises again. And the rumors are that if once he goes to Warner Brothers, he's gonna work on DC movies. So
isn't the deal with Lost that it was purgatory, but everyone figured out that it was purgatory, and so they had to do all this bullshit to make you think that it wasn't purgatory?
I've only ever seen the first season of Lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how Lost was explained to me. The secret was out in the first episode, but they tried to that's totally not the secret, but it totally was, and they completely fucked everything.
Because it was a plane crash, right? If I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it is they're in purgatory and they're trying to get out of purgatory.
Well, that's what it was supposed to be, but everyone on Earth figured it out in the first episode, and so the producers and the writers spent way too much time trying to cover it up, and they completely went off the fucking rails. And it's considered one of the worst endings ever.
Really?
Of a TV show, yeah. Because I remember reading on Twitter by the fourth season, it was these writers have no fucking clue what they're doing. This is really dumb.
Well, that's
word association. That's what I think of when I think of Lost.
Well, a lot of people actually really dug Lost for the first 4 or 5 seasons, and then they said it jumped the shark to the last 2 seasons.
Huh.
Sounds familiar, but Game of Thrones. But...
That's how it was explained to me anyway. Was that they were trying to cover up the fact that everyone figured it out. So.
Always have such a creative idea. Nobody's gonna figure it out. Is that purgatory? No.
That's exactly what happened. I think yes. Yeah, exactly like that. Did you like Lost? Poll question.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't think anyone liked Lost.
No.
I bet Whitney liked Lost.
No. I feel like a lot of people do hold that TV show in reverence more than you think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah.
And the company that did that, you're saying, is doing DC movies?
Well.
Or going to?
J.J. Abrams.
But that's his company.
That's his company.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know if
And the rumor is that it might be a Man of Steel 2 movie or a Green Lantern Corps movie, which is in contradiction with the other rumor that James Gunn might also be doing a... Oh, no, that wasn't a rumor. That was a rumor we started. That would be cool if he did a Green Lantern movie.
Hey, you know what? I'm counting it as a rumor.
Yeah.
Is that a rumor? Full question.
Did we start a rumor? There you go.
We did. Okay, so what are your thoughts on J.J. Abrams?
He's a good director. I like the 2 Star Wars movies he's done, and I actually...
I did 3.
Well, he's going to do 2. He did the first one, the 7, and then he's doing 9. Ryan Johnson did 8.
7, 8, and 9. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, not Star Wars.
Yeah.
I meant Star Trek.
Oh, I really like his Star Trek movies. They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people were mad at the second one. The third one, yeah. Well, okay. Anyway, people's criticism of J.J. Abrams for a long time was that he never took franchises anywhere. Like people were mad that Star Trek didn't go to space until the third one. Not really. Like when you think of Star Trek.
The first one went to space.
Well, but it didn't explore planets and do Star Trek things.
No, I'm so sick of Star Trek fans. I'm gonna get on my soapbox here. I'm so sick of Star Trek fans. They thinking they're so much better than every other nerd.
They think that.
because it's like our show was about science and existential questions and shit like that. I'm like, shut up, nerd. I want to see aliens beat the shit out of their other aliens, and that is what J.J. Abrams did. He's like, fuck all the sentimental fucking existential question, all this shit out of the window. I'm gonna see the purple alien beat up the blue alien, and I'm okay with that.
I'm actually okay with that too.
Yeah, people were upset with the third one because there was a lot of like jump biking, like dirt biking and shit like that, and they're like, that's not a proper Star Trek movie. And I'm like, well then
I
go
thought that
get
was the best one. To be honest.
well then go get fucking William Shatner's old ass and go talk about aliens and existentialism and shit like that. Yeah. That's what people were upset about.
That's dumb.
That Star Trek were action movies, and I'm like, yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a dumb. Okay, you know what? You turned me. I'm here for it.
Another criticism he does have, though, two other criticisms he has, is everything is a mystery box to him. So, like, after the first Star Wars, like, everything's like, who's... He never has answered questions.
Like...
He always leaves everything open-ended for another movie, is basically, So that's one, and then another one is, a lot of people say that Episode 7, the one that came out a few years ago, is just Episode 4, so... Yeah.
So. It has all the same beats or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess. So, a better question, I think, probably is, does J.J. Abrams' introduction to DC excite you?
Yeah, I think so. I think if he can go in the right direction with something, I think it can work pretty well.
Well, history will tell you that he can't, because it's DC, and no one can seem to direct a good DC movie. Shazam, but...
Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. Get Patty Jenkins to do all
Nah, I will argue with anybody. I thought Man of Steel was a good movie.
It is. It is a good movie. And you guys are right when you say that Batman vs. Superman gets better on repeated viewings. It does.
Yeah. It just sucks that movie's like 4 hours long or whatever.
Yeah, and it's way too early also. But I don't have any faith in DC. I guess I have more faith in the directors than... You're right about that. Than...
Batman vs. Superman and Justice League were two examples of the movie studio
getting their fucking dicks in a hurry.
Hey CJ.
Yeah.
Do you love the NWO?
Yeah.
Do you like supporting things you love by giving them an amount of money so small that you wouldn't notice or feel leaving your bank account?
Yeah.
Then you'd be perfect to donate to the NWO cause, which will help us create more content and become a better podcast. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yeah.
Then visit us on patreon.com/NoRuledOrder and give us a monthly donation to help us out. Or if you want, give us a one-time donation. Please go to our PayPal at NerdWorldOrder2@gmail.com.
Yeah?
Yeah, and remember folks, obey the NWO.
Yeah.
Well, those are really the only two pieces of news I had. So moving on, before we get into Stranger Things, we do have some breaking news from Florida. A Florida man is in custody for allegedly using a pair of scissors to cut off the penis of a man he suspected of sleeping with his wife.
Wow.
Stranger Things Season 3. Stranger Things Season 3, it came out almost a month ago. 3 weeks ago, maybe.
3 weeks,
because we're always on the beat of things here. We're always on the pulse of the nation here.
Yeah.
It just shit comes up like other things we needed to review. I get it. It's fine. And you know what? Not everybody can finish it that weekend. I know I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
Okay.
I just finished it at 1 o'clock today. So, yeah.
Well, you did the monumental task of watching all 24 episodes.
True. Yeah, that's true. I could have a long time ago.
Hour-long 24 episodes. So.
Yeah, 25.
It's 8 a season.
The second one is 9.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then it is 25.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Season 3, Stranger Things. Give us a synopsis of where we're at before Season 2 starts.
Okay, yeah. I think we should assume that if you're listening to this, you've seen.
Yeah. Okay. So from here on out, spoiler warnings. Right now for all of Stranger Things, Season 1 through 3.
Go fuck yourself if you haven't seen the movie. You son of a bitch.
Well, no, Season 1 and 2.
Okay. Spoiler warnings for Season 1 and 2.
For this moment. Yeah. Okay. We find our heroes. What are they doing? With girlfriends. They're making out a lot, actually. That's mostly...
Mike and 11.
Yeah. Everyone's making out. Everyone has girlfriends. And they're kind of like... They're growing up, I guess. And so Billy's trying to bang Mike's mom. And so they go on a date. But unbeknownst to Billy, he gets stood up. But it doesn't matter because...
Wait, no, you're saying Season 3.
Yeah, I'm doing the synopsis.
Oh,
Do you want season 1 through 2?
Or I just wanted to see where we're at this moment, before season 3 started.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Shit. So season 1's all about the Demogorgon and finding out that these things even exist. It's about the Upside Down. That there's the idea that there is an alternate dimension just right next to us, and we can't see it.
It's like a mirror dimension.
Yeah, but it's evil and horrible and wants to murder everything. So anyway, we're introduced to 11, a girl with wonderful telekinetic abilities and she does a lot of things with her mind, which is pretty cool. She turns into like a huge badass actually. And so basically it's about them running from this monster while trying to find their friend Will, who's actually trapped inside the Upside Down. And it's about basically she's like a lab rat experiment kind of thing, and they're the people in charge of her trying to find her, and that becomes the whole thing. And so they're running from literally monsters, evil bad guys who they call bad men, and all the while trying to kind of like maintain their friendship. And they end up they end up finding Will, and Elle ends up defeating the Demogorgon, of which at this point there's only one. And she like dies in the process, or so you think. You're led to believe. And it's horribly sad, and Mike's all torn up about it and everything. And so on to season 2, we find out that she's alive, which is wonderful and great. She's living with Hopper, who's Jim Hopper is a great name for a hero.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
That's perfect. Jim Hopper also in Predator, which I like to think that they're the same person, but they're obviously not. Jim Hopper he's one of the Green Berets who got murdered at the beginning.
Oh, it's really?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't put two and two
Jim
together.
Hopper, I knew this man. Green Berets out of full brag. But what the hell are they doing here? Yeah, I got that unlocked. Anyway, so we find out that 11 is living with him. He found her, and he's trying to keep her away from everyone else, so the bad men don't find her. But they find out that the gate to this interdimensional hell is still wide open, and there's a giant fucking monster. Which, by the way, I just want to say, really cool creature design. Like, I like that design. It's simplistic, but it's huge. I like the bigness of it, I think, more than I like it. I like that it's like massive, and it's like literally over the size of a town, but it's also creative in a way, which is cool. It's like unnervingly creepy, kind of. It's just really good. It's you don't have to overdo it to be good.
Yeah,
it can just be a huge fucking thing that looks kind of creepy, and that's cool. I don't know. I liked season 2 a lot. I think I liked it better than season 1 actually.
I will get to that.
Yeah, fair enough. But anyway, so he's a shadow monster, and we find out that he wants to murder everything because he's chasing Will around, and Will can kind of like feel what his desires are.
It's like once you've been in the Upside Down, like you can sense other things from the Upside
Down. Any D&D nerds will know this as true sight. He has what is known as true sight, where you can see what's really happening.
And particularly in season 1, D&D is very interwoven into the story. Like that's how the kids are able to figure things out, the Upside Down stuff,
which
like
is
that.
Really fucking cool.
It is cool, yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think whoever wrote the show, the Duffer Brothers, I bet you they played a lot.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Which is pretty dope, to be honest. And what it's making me is want to play D&D a lot, actually. Like I
saw your Facebook post about the dice, And you were just thinking about it.
Yeah. Bullshit. Someone's listening to our shit.
The government's in our head, dude.
Dude, fuck, it's pretty bad. What he's talking about is I was just thinking, and I told like 2 people, hey, dude, I want to play D&D, and I asked them D&D related questions. The next fucking like an hour later, I find an advertisement for dice, for tabletop dice, and 2 different ones on my fucking phone. I haven't seen an ad for dice in months. That's bullshit.
That is bullshit.
What's our guy's name? Gary?
Oh, Gary Gary, you need to stop quitting shit.
Fuck you, Gary. Bull question. Can Gary go fuck himself? Bull question. Anyway. This shadow monster thing is chasing Will, and Will has one of these what he calls episodes, and the shadow monster literally goes into his face, and inhabits him. And he's like basically they say it's a virus. And Will turns all weird and creepy, and we find out that this shadow monster is birthing just Demogorgons right and left, and he's building basically what amounts to a Demogorgon army, and he has built a huge, what do you call it, an array, I suppose, of tunnels under
Hawkins.
Thank you. And it's like this huge fucking maze of these huge tunnels for these Demogorgons to go around and murder people or do his bidding, I guess you would say. And they find out about it, and it leads them. Of course, this all leads them back to Hawkins' lab, which everything is where everything started in the first place. And Paul Reiser's there for some reason, which whatever. But basically, what it comes down to is they try to get this thing out of Will, and they're not able to. Will, being kind of 1-in-1 with the Shadow Monster now, sends a bunch of soldiers to their death, and that's how we come upon the Demogorgons finding the lab and basically just wrecking shit on everything. They murder Bob, who's awesome.
Yeah.
Bob's underrated. He's boring, and I would never hang out with him in real life, unless we were playing D&D or something. But underrated as a character. He was cool in his own nerdy fucking way. Like, which I'm not here to.
What was he, the owner of the Radio Shack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob was kind of cool. I liked Bob, but again, super boring, but cool in his own way. He dies a super heroic death, I suppose. Kind of dumb because he could have just ran for the door, but whatever. Let's not. Anyway, so what ends up happening is the kids, led by Steve, who is now awesome.
He's done a face turn now.
Hell yeah, dude. You start out hating the fuck out of Steve.
Steve was a dickbag. And really, it started at the end of season 1 where he's like, okay, this guy can be kind of cool. Yeah.
And Steve's
when they introduced Billy, because Billy then took his place as like the resident asshole,
And dude, I'm here for Steve. That's my dude. Anyway.
There's all kinds of memes on the internet about how good of a mom, or there's like a ranking. How good of a mom are you from 0 to Steve?
That's pretty good. That's pretty funny. I like that. Oh man, I could make that better. I don't want to, but I could.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Anyway, Steve.
From Casey Anthony to Steve.
That's totally what I was gonna do.
Okay,
Yeah. That's terrible. But anyway, Steve's a badass, and he's leading the kids through these tunnels. He didn't want to, actually. They kind of forced him to. But anyway, he gets his ass whooped, too. God damn, he gets his ass whooped. 2 seasons in a row, he fucking takes huge
that's one of the jokes in season 3. He's like, you finally want to fight. Yeah.
Hilarious thing about that, little quick side note, I said that right before Dusty.
Oh, really?
Like, dude, Steve, you did it! And then he won! And then Dusty said it right after I did. That was kind of awesome. Because I'm rooting for Steve. Steve is literally one of my favorite characters.
You know he's a drummer in a band?
No, but now he's even cooler.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass. Yeah, I'm here for Steve. That's just me. Anyway, they lead the Demogorgons kind of away from the lab a little bit, and it gives Elle time to shut the gate. She shuts the shit out of this gate when you can see the Shadow Monster kind of coming for her, being trapped behind this interdimensional gate. And then life goes on, and here we are.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so to kind of give you a break, Season 3, to me, was... Not that I didn't like Season 2, but it was back on par with me with Season 1. Like, I really liked Season 1. Season 2 was good. I really liked it. But there's something about the aesthetic and how 80s this show is. And Season 3 got me back to really, really digging this series.
It's very 80s. It's probably the 80s-est of the seasons.
Yeah, for sure. But it's 80s, but not 80s over your head.
Yeah.
So.
But as far as just even like the fashion aesthetic. And
oh yeah. The mall's a huge. Yeah. The mall. Well, obviously the mall plays something into the plot.
Movies,
actually,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So so then what's Season 3?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You can give it short. I know the other ones are a little long.
So okay. Do I want to do spoiler list or was it spoilers?
Spoilers. Yeah, spoilers. Full
okay.
Spoilers.
Spoilers right now. If you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back. Well, I don't want to tell you if it's good. You know what? Should we say it's good?
It's good. It's good.
You've already said it's good anyway. It's really good. Go watch it. Anyway, so Ella's back. They've reunited. Her and Mike have reunited. They're back. They make out for like 40 hours a day, and Hopper's not having it. And so Hopper yells at Mike and threatens to basically murder him if he doesn't stop hanging out with, like, Frenching his daughter all the time. And I don't know. It gets, I don't know. Hopper takes Hopper goes a little crazy, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Anyway, everything seems to be going normal, is I guess my larger point. He's acting like a father. The teenagers are acting like teenagers. Life in Hawkins seems to be like normal life. Joyce enjoys a good job. There's a mall taking over the entire town, which is pissing everyone off. Yeah. This brand new mall that seemingly hopped up out of nowhere, which kind of did apparently, which we'll kind of get into. But anyway, life generally seems to be normal life. As far as anyone could tell.
80s, the mall, Back to the Future.
There doesn't seem to be any signs of horribleness or anything. And so Nancy and Jonathan work for a newspaper, and they are kind of seeing little clues that is kind of making them just wonder things. You know what I'll say, just as a quick aside, season 3 is the best of the seasons as far as building suspense towards an ending. Like, season 3 did of the seasons, it has the best, like, clues leading up to a point, if that makes sense. Like, in season 1, you pretty much knew what was going on, more or less. Like, it was kind of linear, I guess is what I want to say.
I guess you're just saying it's like one to another, because in this one, there is some of it in season 2, but in season 3, really, you're broken up into 3 teams. Right. And you don't know how Russians...
You don't really know how they interconnect.
You don't know how the Russians, how the underground, the shit under the mall, and then how 11, and Billy, how all that tie together. And it's not really to the second to last episode where you kind of, figure out what's going on.
This season had built the most suspense as far as...
Yeah, you're right.
As far as not knowing where the clues were leading to.
Yeah, so season 1, you're right, is more linear, and season 2 was a continuation of that. Yeah. And this is, like, not really a continuation.
You, as the viewer, don't have the answers as quickly as you did in season 1 and 2. Yeah. Suspense is built for us, which hasn't really been how... I like it better, though. I like it better that way. And I think they did a really good job. But... the start of that is like they think Nancy and Jonathan think they found these weird rabid rats and they're eating fertilizer, which doesn't make any sense. And they're putting weird pieces together, but they're not equating it to the idea of this horrible tragedy that they've been through the last couple of years. They're not like, why would you even think that? Of course you wouldn't. And we see Billy basically be
a host.
But he's grabbed by some unknown thing and taken down to this steelwork basement place. And we see him become a host, essentially, like in the same way that Will was previously. And yeah, we have another tangent where Steve and Dustin, they're like boys now, which is pretty cool, actually. They've intercepted this code from Russians, and they're trying to figure it out. What the fuck? And yeah, it's like all these things, they don't really seem like they add up together.
Well, I think this season, what it does a good job of, it's like 3 to 4 different movies. Yeah. Or like so, we totally get the Terminator with that Russian guy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Then we totally get a Russian spy movie with Dustin and Steve. Yeah. And then we get your supernatural 80s movie with 11 and Mike and all them. And then there is like what else? And then you get your supernatural thriller, with the whole thing. So yeah, there are very different themes that are very separate but very put together.
It's pretty like almost like weird sciencey.
Yeah.
And like that they have all this what at the time is groundbreaking radio technology and shit like that, which kind of cool. I feel like I would be one of those kids, like honestly, like just I don't know. If I was in the 80s, like I would have like a cool radio. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. the idea of walkie-talkies is really cool, though. I wish I would have had walkie-talkies like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, complete different story. Anyway, they crack this code. Steve and his new girl, Robin, which we get some new characters in Season 3. Steve, Robin, and Dustin, they crack this Russian code, and they figure out that Russians, which again, we have an inkling, but we don't really know how they fit into the equation, really, with all this stuff. We saw him try to open the thing at the very beginning, open the gate, but we haven't really pieced everything together. We don't really know exactly what's going on. So anyway, they crack this code, and they figure out the mall is literally just a cover for this huge underground Russian lair that they're trying to open the gate back up. And why the fuck would you want to do that? But, which is, it's dumb. It's like dropping a bomb on, it's like starting a nuclear war. No one wins. You know what I mean? It's dumb. But anyway, whatever. It's neither here nor there. So, basically, what ends up happening is, and you have the Hopper thing where Hopper abducts one of the super smart Russian dudes. Alexei, and they do some exposition. They figure out that the Russians have had this plot to open the gate back up because they tried in Russia unsuccessfully, so they had to come to Hawkins to do it. That was the second part of the two-part equation, so he put it. And everything leads them back to Hawkins, to this lab where they find what has been amassing from these. Okay, so when they have these these rats, they're not rabbit. They die and they become this like huge meat monster, and this meat monster is fucking.
It's the shadow monster, but now he's able to hold a physical form.
Yeah, and whenever he takes over a person and that person dies, they become this like gelatinous fucking meat mound, and they all form into one, and it's fucking huge. It's pretty cool, to be honest. But yeah, it's the meat monster not personified, but made tangible, I guess you would say. And basically, it all leads to this huge showdown at the fucking mall, where the kids are fighting the giant meat monster. Hopper and Joyce are fighting Russians, and Dusty's talking to his girlfriend. What else am I missing? Oh, and Steve is fights Billy, kind of. Not really. Fights Billy with his car. And hijinks ensue. Close enough?
Yeah, okay, no, that's pretty close. So, what are some of the things that you liked about this season?
They win.
Yeah. So, and then a big cliffhanger at the end. Yeah. So, I guess let's start there. So, after all this...
You want to start at the end?
Start at the end, because I think that's the biggest thing that people that watch Season 3 want to know what happened, right? So, they Hopper and... I can never remember... Joyce. Hopper and Joyce are down at the lab, and they're going to destroy the gun that's opening up the portal. Yeah. He kills the Terminator, for like a better description.
It's the Terminator.
Yeah. He kills him, so then they figured out it's unstable. And he's not gonna make it up to on time, so Hopper wants Joyce to basically destroy it by turning both keys, and she turns both keys, destroys the gun. Presumably he's dead. Presumably. Did you see after the credits about?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then, everybody goes on with life. The what's their last name? Will and them. The buyers are leaving town. They figure it's best for a fresh start.
Which is ridiculous. Why
it is ridiculous.
Leaving?
I know. It's ridiculous. They're leaving. So Will...
You know how many lives are tearing apart?
Yeah.
All those relationships just became statistics.
Yeah.
They're not going to last.
No.
Like, statistically, they're all broke up.
Yeah.
Right there.
So Will, Joyce, and Jonathan, they all move to...
And 11, who's inexplicably living with Joyce and not Mike for some reason.
Well, would you? If that's...
Probably.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't.
Probably would.
It makes sense. It makes sense for Joyce to take over because she feels that it's her responsibility now.
Because of Hopper.
Yeah. So
but still, though, if it were that or 11 has to leave, yeah, I would. But no, it's just me.
Anyways, so they all leave to next time.
It's bullshit that 11's leaving. That's really my beef. I'm mad that she's leaving.
They're
They're all leaving, but
they're gonna be back.
You don't know.
So
Yeah, they're gonna be back.
okay, so anyway, so they're moving because they think because Joyce thinks it's best for everybody to leave and start a new wherever.
Well, she doesn't really say why she decides to. I mean, they kind of go over it a little bit, like the whole bad memories and stuff.
Because it's all the shit that's happened there. It's like
that's what it
fucking.
is.
It's like living at the same house after the Poltergeist movie. You know, it's like no, you move, you get out of there. Anyways, so all the shit's going on.
I'm just salty about it.
Yeah, I know. See, everything's going on. Everybody's going new beginnings, whatever. So then the credits roll, and then we get to some prison in Siberian Russia, right? And they're in this jail, and they go to these Russians are about to go open up this cell, and they're like, hey, let's not take the American out just yet. We still need him. And then they go open the next door. They take out this Russian prisoner. They take him. A Demogorgon eats him, right? So that's how it ends. But we can assume that the American they're talking about is Hopper, right? How do you think he gets there?
We can also assume, well, they took him, they captured him somehow.
I think he teleported to they have a Demogorgon, right? That means that they have some portal open.
They have a gate.
They have a gate open, so I think he might have teleported.
Into the upside down and through the gate.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, something more logical is they kidnapped him and they took him as prisoner. Yeah, but I would like to think.
I think you might be on the right track.
I would like to think if they are going to go supernatural, that gate while they were closing it, he somehow transported into the upside down and then went through the upside down to the other gate.
Makes sense to me. Honestly, yeah, that's plausible. Probably.
So yeah.
That's probably the most plausible, because there weren't Russians around to really kidnap him.
No.
So
yeah,
makes sense to me. Yeah.
Okay, so since we're at the end, well, I guess how did that make you feel? Did you think that was it, or?
Not really.
Yeah.
I thought it was possible, because I remember thinking, like, with a few episodes left to go, there has to be some permanency. There has to be some permanent consequences here. What's it? What is it gonna be? We find out it's Billy.
Yeah.
Right?
Billy dies.
Billy, because that's the saying. It's kind of I don't want to say it's formulaic, but it kind of is. Bob died. So they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna kill a Hopper. They're not gonna kill a Joyce.
Well, honestly, I think
they're not gonna kill one of the kids.
I think in season 4, somebody big has to go for it to mean anything.
Like, correct. I think I probably agree with that, but not yet. Not in season 3. I don't think. Season 3, Billy's about right. I think he's about the. I'm kind of sad that. I'm kind of bummed out that Billy died, because I wanted to see him beat the shit out of his dad. But
because his dad's an asshole.
Yeah, I wanted that, and I wanted some redemption. I wanted Billy to have a Steve face turn, and for there to be another guy.
No, I don't think
he would have been a cool ally.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think he can do that twice. I think.
Why not?
I think.
I like that idea. You're turning all the bad guys good guys, and we have a huge army of good guys.
Can't have 2 bites at the apple at that. You can only have the one, and I think that's Steve.
Why?
Because
he does at the end anyway.
Yeah, but that's honestly the only thing I had not an issue with, but like
I had a couple issues.
I watched it and I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. That there was a face turn all of a sudden. Like,
I liked it.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just like it took a lot for me to buy it.
Why?
Because it's like
they did the same thing to Will.
He does all this.
But they did the same thing to Will, and there was a lesser version when they're locked in the cabin. See, this is the benefit of having watched everything. When they're stuck in the cabin, and he doesn't know where he's at, they regale him with all the memories from their past, and they try to bring Will out of the shadow.
I guess you're right.
And they do this, and she does literally the same thing.
I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Billy.
Yeah.
So it tracks for me, honestly.
I guess you're right. I guess when you think about it in season 2, yeah. Yeah, I guess still it's kind of abrupt because he's just been such an asshole
very abrupt.
the whole time.
I'll give you that. Yeah. It's very abrupt, and that does lend it less credibility than like the first but it is undeniably a lesser version of the shadow monster in Billy than was in Will. Yeah. So, and if you think about it like that, it still kind of tracks for me. It works for me. Plus, like I said, I don't see your beef. I would have liked to have a season of good Billy. No. That would have been cool for me, I think.
I don't think so.
I do.
Nah. He has to be this California badass. Like, he has to be the...
He can do that while being a good guy.
Nah, it loses its value.
But so did Steve, and he lost
whatever
you would say that is.
Yeah, he lost it. Now he's a kid.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, but now he's the kid's babysitter. He used to be the coolest kid at the school. Now he's working at Chips Ahoy or whatever.
Okay, but you do that for Billy.
Nah, you can't keep doing that because then it loses its.
You find another one.
It loses its thing. It loses its value. Like, Steve is a very likable character now. Huh? Yeah. You have to have a he's irredeemable. He's irredeemable as far as what he did. I know it's not him because he was like, I'm sorry, it's not me. Like, but you still logically, we're speaking in a very illogical universe, obviously, right? But logically, in the rules of this universe, right? He does all that killing and he makes it out. Do you really think that he's gonna not do jail time?
Yeah, no one's ever done jail time for any of this crap.
No, like or
you know how many people 11's murdered?
But like unbeknownst to people, right? But as far as like everything she's killed has been from the upside down. It's never been another person.
Oh yeah, she killed those Russian dudes. She killed those dudes in Hawkins' lab.
I guess you're right.
She's never killed a person. Well, she has, I guess.
But it's like those are unaccounted for people. Like, they're underground. Like, nobody's ever gonna miss them. Whatever. Billy did a lot of killing on the surface, and you can't.
That wasn't Billy. You can.
I understand. I understand that, but you're gonna try to explain that to the police.
Hopper is the police.
Who's dead now?
Who is dead now?
You know what I mean? You can't because
you absolutely can't.
You can't.
People should go to jail for these things all the time.
It's like, woo, Billy, I'm sure glad you made it out.
The chief of police beat the shit out of a mayor. That doesn't happen without some consequences. Of course, there were no consequences.
Yes, they do because they each have dirt on each other. So he can't beat the shit out of them because it's like, okay, well, you're gonna.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So right. They're logically right in this. What I'm getting at is Billy can't make it out of it alive. He can't. Like, he can't come out.
I disagree with you, and because their tracks are laid for it, I was looking forward to a fight with his dad, and I thought it was coming.
But then his dad
at the beginning of the fourth season. That would have been cool.
His dad appeared.
That's where they were heading with those memories
once, but his memories. The memories were laid there so that 11 can speak to him at the end. Like, hey. September, whatever.
I want his dad to get his ass whooped.
Now you just want what you want, not what logically.
Well, of course.
Not what logically makes sense for the show. His dad would appear out of nowhere. It's like instead of them showing Hopper. Okay, this is your take on the season, right? So Billy makes it out alive, right? So instead of them showing Hopper in some Russian Siberian jail, it's just like Billy kicking in the door. Dad, I'm gonna kick your. No. And they just start fighting.
They do it at the beginning of the fourth season. It goes almost exactly the same.
Why does it matter though? What his?
Because I like Billy.
What does it matter whether he fights his dad or not?
Because his dad's a piece of shit, and I want to see him get his ass kicked.
His dad literally appeared for 30 seconds in season 2.
And he was probably the biggest piece of shit in that 30 seconds. And maybe you know what it did? It's because it made me sad for Billy. That's why he's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, but then you don't have to have him be his ass because he ended up getting his. You could argue that he
his dad got off scot-free. I don't like that. His dad just gets away with being a huge piece of shit.
You know how many times that happens in real life?
I don't want it to happen in real life. If in real life that happened, I would root for that guy to get his ass whooped, just like I'm doing in the show. And he deserves to get his ass whooped. And I'm upset that I didn't get that. And I will continue to be upset. I miss Billy already. I liked Billy as a character, and I think he would have done the Steve thing, which I'm here for.
No, man.
He would have been cool. They would have found someone else to take.
Then you can't. Then that guy turns into the good guy.
I'm cool with all of that.
You can't do that. It loses its value when you do it 2 or 3 times. Like next season, you can't have the same thing of like, hey, let me whisper in your ear. I got something to. It's almost like the Yin Yang Twins.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Hey, let me whisper in your ear. Hey, remember, you're a really good guy on the inside. It's like, hey, you're really a good person on the inside. Don't let the monster take you outside. Or don't let the monster kill us all. You can't do that a third time. It's happened twice.
Okay.
You can't write it a third time. And you can't do a face turn again. You can't.
They did, though.
With Steve.
Apparently they can.
with Steve
They
once.
did it with Billy too.
For
A miniature version of it.
for
they
30
did.
seconds. Okay, and that's fine, and he gets his win there. But he can't like, oh, I'm okay now. Like, you can't. To me, it ended perfectly. He had to die. For all the shit he did, he had to die.
But we're out of cool character.
That's fine. They'll write another cool character. Robin was a cool character.
They could have made him good and wrote another cool character. They could have.
Not everybody can join the team. Not everybody can join the team.
I like the idea of a giant.
It's more heartbreaking when you have a loss like that. It means more. It means more that he laid his life on the line to be able to save in the end. It means more than if he would have done that and everything was okay.
I agree, but it doesn't mean enough. It wasn't enough of a face turn to actually matter.
What do you mean it didn't matter? It absolutely mattered because he saved the day.
No. I'm not saying. Okay, wrong. Poor word choice by me. It mattered. What I'm saying is, it wasn't enough of a face turn to make his death a big enough deal as far as, like, pulling emotion out of you. Like,
That was more emotional because you get it from Max.
But that's the only reason. Not because of who Billy is, but because of Max's connection to Billy. That's it. And if he spends a season building up equity of being cool and helping, and then he dies, that's cooler.
Nah.
Oh, they're probably gonna kill Steve.
We gotta move on. We've done way too much on this. Okay, so what do you think as far as, like, does it hit comedy wise? Like, what do you think?
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. This is probably the funniest season.
It is. Touch my butt. I don't care.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm glad. What the little sister? What's her name? Erica. I'm glad she joins.
America without Erica.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I guess you're right. Yeah. So she's a very good character.
She is, man. The characters they introduced. Robin. I love Robin.
Robin's a good character.
Robin's the shit.
Yeah.
The characters they introduced in this season are pretty cool, honestly. Erica's good, which she was technically introduced last
season 1, actually.
But yeah, she's awesome. She's a fucking huge nerd, which is cool.
I didn't see the ending though, where Robin ended up being lesbian.
Yeah. Because
Robin, or actually,
you didn't see that?
I didn't see that coming.
Oh.
But I'm okay with it. Like, I'm glad because, like, it's so traditional and so all of us are up our own asses as far as, like, oh, of course she likes Steve.
Of course she's in love with me.
Yeah. And it's portrayed through Steve. It's like, well, of course she likes me. So yeah, she's
I'm
cool.
just gonna say this, and obviously we're gonna end up having.
Yeah. No, and it's like, no, not everybody's like that. Yeah. And the reason she was obsessed with him is because she hated him. Because the girl that liked him, she liked, so it's
that is a cool little.
Yeah,
twist,
I do like. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. And that was probably, like, if you think about it, for the '80s, that was a bombshell.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you just don't come out like that.
She was expecting Steve to be like, oh, gross, like.
And that is on Steve's. That is good on Steve. Then to be like.
Steve's not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, he's a good dude. Like, I love Steve, but whatever.
Steve's one of my favorite characters, so it's for sure probably my favorite character.
Got his ass whooped. I was here for Steve taking the yearly ass whooping, but he kind of got it a little bit with the Russians, I guess.
Well, that was a funny scene, right? When they got drugged up and stuff to try to tell the truth. Yeah. What do you think then? We talked about it a little bit, but, like, how 80s is this? Like, anytime I watch Stranger Things for a week straight, I'm listening to 80s music for sure. Like, that is a given. Yeah. It is. It
has a cool aesthetic.
Yeah.
It really does. It makes the 80s seem cool, which for me is something of an achievement.
I like the 80s a lot.
I mean, I think that this might be blasphemy. I've always kind of thought the 80s were a little overrated, but this show makes it seem cool. I will say that. Maybe they were cool. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't fucking know. I was born. I lived in 3 months of the 80s. I don't fucking know. But as far as this show, it makes a really fucking cool aesthetic. That's undeniable. Then this, maybe it works in, like, the 90s or even, like, the 70s, but it's cool that it's the 80s. I will say that.
Because it's a very different aesthetic, and I like that. And I do like how, you're right, everything aesthetically is the 80s, what they're wearing. You can tell.
This is the most 80s of the seasons.
But I don't think they beat it over your head. Like, it's like, oh my god, it's a lot of 80s, but it's not like, hey, look, it's the 80s, it's the 80s.
I could see a person saying that they do. Like, with all the movies, George Romero.
Yeah.
And then have
Back to the Future.
I could see somebody saying that. But for me, no.
I will say, though, maybe the first episode, when they were laying the ground tracks for everything,
In what way?
Huh?
How?
What?
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying they beat you over the head with
No,
it in
no,
the
no, no,
first
no.
episode.
No, I said I will say that first episode, they played like 480 songs, like really like through transitions, and I'm like, okay, I hope the rest of the season isn't like this. But besides that, like that wasn't it. But I think the first episode is supposed to be like that. It's supposed to tell you like when it sets the scene.
It
and
sets
stuff.
the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The carnival scene was a lot of fun.
And they're really set up for binging. Like this show.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like week to week, you would lose some of that, but it is set up to where you're supposed to binge it. So
yeah.
It kind of works.
Who was your favorite character in season 3?
My favorite character in season 3. Dustin's up there.
That scene at the very end with his girlfriend where they're singing the never
that was
ending
pretty good.
story. Yeah.
Hopper lost some credibility for me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
They made him less cool. They made him like this weird, overzealous dad.
Well,
I mean, they do some explaining at the very end.
I get it.
No, I'm not saying I don't get it. They made him cheesy, which I don't really like. He was cheesy as fuck. Like, I don't know, just the way he was like overreacting to things and like he goes into this Joyce's store. Oh my god, what's going on with the thing? And like Hopper wouldn't do that. But once you get to the end and you put it through the lens of like he's a new father, he's going through fatherly things.
That letter was very emotional.
The
yeah.
letter brought it back together for me.
Yeah, I was like, really fuck. I got misty eyed, dude. I'm like, fuck.
Me too, a little bit. To be honest,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was down on Hopper, but the letter did some perspectiving, I suppose, and I get it now, I guess. So, but I spent the whole season down on Hopper.
I was the same on Hopper. I just thought they called him Fat Magnum PI, which was fucking cool.
Yeah.
And he wore the shirt and everything, like had the mustache. Like I get it.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, and that's another genre that it had in there, like a cop TV show. So yeah.
Up against the wall, Magnum. Whenever he's in the spaceship, yeah, that was pretty good. That was really fun, actually.
Yeah.
In that perspective, yeah, you're right. And I'm not saying like I love Hopper. Like being down on Hopper is still like he's still pretty cool. So. Yeah.
And then watching this reminded me that
sorry, go ahead.
whatever you think of Hellboy, like David Harbour.
No, David Harbour, he was great in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was the best part of that movie.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely,
by
for
far,
sure.
yeah.
There's no question. He's a really good actor.
And I'm excited for him to be in Black Widow. So, and actually, what people were saying, you know what his
I
movie?
want him to have a big role though.
You know what his name in Black Widow is? Alexei.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's kind of.
He's a Russian dude, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I'm here for David Harbour, to be honest. And I'm sure we'll see him in season 4, probably. That's my theory. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Where do you think they take the series from here, though? Like, where can you possibly go next?
I mean, to Russia, apparently.
How would they even know? I feel like that's where they jump the shark. If they go to Russia,
I don't know why.
It's not like Rush.
I think no.
It's
I
not like
think
Rush
I think
Hour
it
2
tracks.
where they go to Hong Kong.
I think it tracks because you have to outdo yourself. You have to make it bigger and better. Not necessarily okay. You have to do things on a more grand scale, and that's just storytelling. If you're gonna do a trilogy, the third one has to be the biggest and best. Like that's just basic. Like okay, for like season 1, one Demogorgon, one weird Russian dude. The most action is a van flip, right? Season 2, shitload of Demogorgons.
Well, you can.
It's a grand. There's a huge hulking monster, you know.
Well, I think you can chalk up that first season to like they don't know if it's gonna hit, particularly with Netflix. You don't know what they make all these shows. And
Sure, but that's every show. Like most shows, that's how most shows work. You're laying groundwork with season 1. You're kind of at the base level. You have to bigger and better second season, bigger and better the third season, bigger and better the fourth season. What's bigger and better than a giant, huge, fucking hulking meat monster? Like
that was a cool effect too. How
affecting the entire town this time, not just a certain group of people, but the entire town, presumably the entire county, even possibly a portion of the state. You know what I mean? Because there are a shitload of people there at the farm. And I think that town must be a pretty big fucking town, for starters. Because there's a shitload of people. But a shitload of people, anyway, are affected by this, right? How do you go bigger than that? Statewide, countrywide, you go to Russia, I think. You can. It's not. You don't have to. But I think it's a.
I think you work it backwards. I think Hopper finds a way back.
Probably. You're probably right.
Yeah. Because then
how do you make a show cool in snow anyway?
Yeah. Well, the thing was cool, but that was a movie. But.
That's a different kind.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Well, not really. No. Well, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
But
thing,
I don't know, man. To me, then if you start going like Russia, like. If you go to Russia, you start doing these things, then it's going to fall into the trap of the Fast and the Furious. Like, they started as, like, cops, and now they're, like, super soldiers saving the world.
I will,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I understand your role of grandiose,
well,
but, like, it can get out of hand.
I'm not sold on Russia by any means. And I will say, one massive argument against it is just the aesthetic of the small town Hawkins dealing with these problems is really cool.
Yeah.
It's just a small town cop, chief of police, handling all these things.
Well, there's always been rumors that Stranger Things was always supposed to be an anthology series, where they take different portions of different times and different settings across. I don't know if it was supposed to be across the country or across the world, on how they had to deal with the Upside Down. So
that'd be cool.
Maybe season 4 we don't even deal with Hawkins. We deal with what's going on in Russia.
I don't like that. I think if you do that, I think you have to do it. I want another season of Hawkins. I want an end to that.
No, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, but I'm saying originally a lot of people thought, and I think even the Duffer brothers originally thought of Stranger Things as an anthology series.
That could be really fucking cool. If you do, like, you know how, like, they do, like, they have Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super? You do Stranger Things Wilderness. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. But whatever. And you do another thing. And then you do Stranger Things.
I would have thought that was cool if they didn't already build these characters.
What the fuck is that smell? You smell it?
I do smell it. Oh, Jasmine's cooking, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And make sure there's not like a gas leak.
No. But I think that would have gained more traction if they did one season of Hawkins, and then second season was.
But you do 4 seasons of this, whatever it is. Like you do a series of it. I like that.
Yeah, but I think it would.
And maybe you even leave like little breadcrumbs, like I would love a whole season of 8. Like.
Oh yeah.
That would be fucking cool. I really thought they were gonna bring it back a little bit.
A lot of people didn't like that about season 2. I really liked that episode.
It's great.
Well, there's a reason why she's 11 because
maybe you do 1 to 12.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. That would be super cool.
Because
I'm totally here for that.
The idea then is that they were all made for that purpose, right? To try to open up this other dimension, right? Or was it just 11?
I believe the opening of the dimension was completely accidental. I think they were just trying to play with the idea of.
Oh no, you're right. They were just trying to spy on the Russians.
Yeah.
They were using her as a weapon, and she went like from season 1, and then she went like not crazy, but she went like too much for her and ripped up. And you're absolutely right. And then ripped up. Yeah, you're right.
But you could play with the idea of that. It doesn't even have to be Upside Down related. You could do a whole new thing, whatever it is. Maybe one of them is able to talk to aliens in space or something. You know, It doesn't even have to come from the Upside Down.
I do think if you're gonna do that, though, you have to put a bow on this. Like you have to finish
absolutely.
Hawkins and then you start.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
There's not a bow on this yet.
No.
No.
Put the bow on it. Move on.
Yeah. Okay.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But it will be cool. Leave, I don't know, like maybe some Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Will be pretty cool. But make sure we know it's in the same universe and whatever. But
what do you think then?
I hope they do that. Fuck, that'd be cool.
Yeah. We'll kind of end on this a little bit. As far as the character development of the kids, where you think they're at, and you think it's good, like I think it makes perfect sense, because in this season we get a lot of tension between between friends, as far as like, did you always think we were gonna sit in the basement and play D&Ds or D&D? No, like we're gonna have girlfriends, we're gonna grow up. So season 1 and season 2 was kind of them growing up with each other, and then season 3 is like
We are grown up.
We are grown up,
basically.
and we have different tastes or whatever. And Will's sexuality was kind of thrown into question when they're arguing, like, why are you spending so much time with Elle or whatever? Did you think we were not going to get girlfriends? And then he's like, no, yeah, I thought we played D&D forever. And it's like, I'm sorry that we like girls and you don't or whatever. So that's already some conflict between the groups. So we'll see. And then with them moving away, it's not, as much as you try, you can text every day. It's never the same.
No, fuck no.
So, and it's the 80s, so even less so. There's less ways to communicate in the 80s. So
Yeah, this is not. We cannot see this through a modern prism. Like,
one thing that
you have to write letters
for sure,
and nobody writes letters. So
one thing that was said that I think is going to play into season 4 is like, hey, I think we can see each other over Thanksgiving and the holidays. So I think that's where the next, because this one took place during the 4th of July. Season 2 was Halloween. So I think each one of them have a backdrop. So season 1, did I have anything? No, huh?
yes.
What was the backdrop? The holiday, anyways. I don't think it did.
Maybe not.
Season 2 was Halloween. Season 3 was the 4th of July.
No, it did. Christmas. They had Christmas lights and shit. They had Christmas lights all through her house. I don't know if it was Christmas time though. But she definitely had Christmas lights everywhere.
No, that was because she was trying to communicate.
Understood.
Yeah.
But they had Christmas lights for sale, which I don't know.
But I don't think it was a Christmas time.
Yeah.
So season 2 is very Halloween. They have the
But
Ghostbusters.
either way, it's not. Yeah, your point is good.
Yeah, they have the Halloween costumes. They go trick or treating. That's one of the big scenes when he sees the shadow monster. Season 3 is very 4th of July. They have the carnival. The whole thing. So I think this one's going to be very either Thanksgiving or very Christmas.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think if there is an aesthetic, or no, I don't know, if whatever you want to call it, backdrop, I suppose, you would say Christmas, I think, for the first season, but it doesn't necessarily have to have one, so you'd probably say there wasn't one.
Alrighty. So last
It
thing.
would have been cool to have that figured out.
Yeah, for sure. Season 1's like Christmas and then Halloween.
Well, not even necessarily Christmas. Christmas should be like perpetual, but Arbor Day. Yeah. Should the backdrop of season 1 been Arbor Day?
Poll question. So okay, so now we're gonna go to here. What rank your seasons 1 through 3?
Easter would have been a good start. Rank the seasons. Ooh, I think I probably like the season 3 the best.
Really?
Probably.
1, 3, 2 for me.
It's probably 3, 2, 1 for me.
Really?
Probably, yeah.
I love season 1. So.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
But they are doing a good job of that granular progression, and I enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
They're getting better with each season, I think.
So 3, 2, 1 for you, and then 1, 3, 2 for me. So.
Which is refreshing as fuck.
Yeah,
to be
for
honest.
sure. Yeah.
Because a lot of, and honestly, I'm gonna be. I don't know if this is a popular opinion. I'm not sure. I do hope the 4th season is the final season.
I was about to say I hope they end it with 4 or 5. I don't.
They will. Do not stretch this out unless you do how we.
Yeah. Unless it's a completely fresh take on it, like some, in the 70s somewhere in, New England or, something different. I don't want Hawkins for 8 seasons because I think it loses some of its
coolness.
heart. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Either 4 or 5 and that's it. Like you have to hit his peak. Like,
Bless you. Go for yourself.
oh, that's right. Like Breaking Bad. Like Breaking Bad hit 5 seasons. Like that was it. So like hit your max and go out on top. Go out on top. So.
Fucking I agree.
Okay, so what are we rating this season?
Kitty's titties.
Kitty's titties for sure.
I love it. I love the whole show.
Yeah.
Honestly, every season gets Kitty's titties for me.
Yeah, it's a Kitty's titties show. So it's out of all the Netflix original shows, it's the best
thing
one.
Netflix has ever done.
Yeah, I was about to say it's my
In
favorite
my-
Netflix thing. Yeah, for
In
sure.
my estimation. So.
Alrighty, we are now getting the fuck out of here. Next week's show, I don't remember what it is. Let's see.
It's we pick each other's butts.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
something sexy.
Does surf or do drugs or
Hobbs and Shaw.
What is it?
Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh shit!
Hell
son.
yeah.
Hell yeah! I'm down.
I was telling Jasmine, I'll say it now, it's a miracle I shouldn't say miracle, it's insane to me that nobody thought before this movie to make a movie between The Rock and Jason Statham. Like, it's just crazy to me, right?
I don't know. I put Vin Diesel in there.
Vin Diesel sucks. Alright, next week's show, Hobbs and Shaw. What are you...
Does Vin Diesel suck? Poor question.
the orders recommendations. What are you reading, watching, listening to that you want to tell folks about?
Okay, this spans. We expand across all media, all types of media. I'm doing another music recommendation. I'm going to recommend that you listen to the 2 latest songs from Slipknot. Now, Slipknot's my favorite band. I've been a Slipknot fan since 2004. And this, right now, is the first time in 10 years I've been excited about Slipknot. This is the best they sound. They released a song called Solway Firth. And I cannot stop listening to this bitch. Like, it's fucking fantastic. The song they released before that is Unsainted. It's pretty good, too. It's not as good as Solway Firth. But both are off their upcoming album. It'll be out. It's called We Are Not Your Kind. It'll be out August 9th. I'm super fucking excited for it. Listen to Solway Firth. Listen to Unsainted. This is the best they've sounded in 15 years. I absolutely believe that. They're out of autopilot. They've been on autopilot. Like, it hurts me to say it. It does, but it's real. It's true shit.
I like Psychosocial.
I'm not saying that they've been bad. I'm saying I hold Slipknot to a very high standard, and they have not met that standard.
Your high standard is subliminal messages and
yeah. That's the standard I hold them to, and they have not met that. All Hope Is Gone was good. It was good. It was very good. It wasn't as good, and Great Chapter. I know what they're doing. It's terrible. It's not right. It's not good. It's not a good album. Sorry. It hurts me to say it. I'm crying. I'm crying right now. But this is the best Slipknot. This is the best version of Slipknot they've been in 15 years. And I'm here for it.
Cool. I like Slipknot a lot too, so I'll definitely listen to it. Which is, maybe we can fit in one of those open dates to review The Boys. So
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That looks so cool.
Yeah.
And I believe it's out, right?
If not this week, next week. So
yeah, I'm down to watch that. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And I think Amazon shows are more, they release them per week and not.
Okay.
So
I thought, I tried to figure out a release date. I believe there are at least a few weeks out already, I think.
Oh, really? I might be off then.
You can find out.
Okay.
So,
alright.
Find out for us.
Okay, for sure, I will.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But part of the reason he brought that up is because the video for Solway Firth is not an advertisement, but it's kind of like how movies have their
music
videos. It is that for The Boys. And I'm here for The Boys, dude. So
it looks good.
Yeah.
So not only Slipknot, but it looks good.
And
it's produced by Seth Rogen too.
Yeah.
So
one badass thing. You haven't seen the video for Solway Firth?
No, I haven't listened to the song at all.
One cool thing that I think is kind of awesome. They do like there's a scene in The Boys apparently where this dude's like beating this other dude's head against the sink, and they do it like in rhythm, like to the song, and like there's different shit like that, which I think is cool. But
does Slipknot still have the guy that hit the keg?
Oh, of course.
Ah, dude, I wish I had his.
There's 9 motherfuckers in that band. Yeah, they've been a little turbulent. They have 3 completely altogether different members from their original lineup.
Well, Jordy Jordison isn't the drummer anymore. Huh?
No, they thought he was on drugs. Crazy story. They thought he was on drugs and fucked up every night, and that's why he couldn't play. He couldn't play because he had a disease in his legs.
Really?
And they just attributed it to, he's on drugs and he's high. No, it was because he had some weird degenerative muscular disease in his legs. And he's fine. He's back to playing now. He got over it. But for a long time, he couldn't play, and they just thought, he's fucked up.
He was just fucked up.
And
damn.
So he kind of got a raw deal, to be honest.
Wasn't he the founder?
Yeah, oh yeah. He was a founder. Not the founder, but a founder certainly is. If you had to say the founder, you would say Sean Crahan, clown, but who is one of the keg bangers.
Really?
Fuck yeah. Dude.
He's like, fuck, I can't do anything else, so I'm just going to pound on the keg.
Right? He writes music, so... According to Corey Taylor, Slipknot wouldn't exist without Sean Crahan, so...
Really?
Yeah, so... I mean, you say they're just keg beaters, and they all are.
Dude, I'm not talking shit on what he does, because I wish I had that gig.
Fuck yeah.
But
if
it just...
Yeah, fuck. If you could do that, yeah, of course.
Just hit the keg on beat, yeah, I could do that.
Well, I mean, it's probably not that easy. You have to be in Slipknot while you do that, which is a whole nother thing.
You're right. Okay, well, what I watched was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th movie, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. It's good for what it is. It could have cut it down 30 minutes, but it's a good movie. I really liked it. You know how we were talking about Stranger Things being aesthetic for the 80s? You can't tell me that movie wasn't filmed they traveled back in time and didn't film it in 1969. Like, it looks, they're driving down Hollywood Boulevard or whatever, and everybody has a neon light. Like, I don't know how they did that. I don't know if it's CGI or if it's on set, but it looked legit like California, LA, Hollywood, 1969. Like,
and you were there obviously, so you would know.
I wish, dude. It just seems so much fun to live in 1969. So.
Tons of cocaine.
Oh, for sure, which is fun.
All the cocaine.
Yeah. So yeah, I recommend it. Go watch it.
Yeah, rate it.
Kitty's Titties. It's a
Wow,
Quentin Tarantino
cool,
movie.
okay.
You were kind of grilling me like, is it better than this? It's not better than like Django or all those movies, but it's still really good. It's still a Quentin Tarantino.
But what does that
movie.
say about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's what I was watching. All right, guys, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, let us know on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. You can find us personally on Facebook or Twitter. You can find the show and listen to it on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Libsyn, Stitcher. Please subscribe. Give us a comment. Give us a rating. We would really, really appreciate it.
Please tell us what you thought of Stranger Things Season 3.
Oh, yeah, question of the show.
Yeah.
Sorry, thanks for reminding
Yeah.
me. Question of the show. What'd you think of Stranger Things Season 3? Buy some merch. We would really appreciate it. We're really close to getting some new equipment, and we would really appreciate it.
Sorry. One last thought.
Yeah.
Best fucking theme song. So simple, so catchy,
So
so perfect.
It's so 80s
so
too.
perfect.
It's so 80s. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you buy some merch. If you guys give on Patreon, we really do. If you guys give at least $10 a month, I'll buy you a shirt. We really appreciate that. If you want to do a one-time donation, PayPal, nerdworldorder2@gmail.com. Thanks everybody for listening, commenting, participating, everything. We appreciate any and all feedback on the show, so we really appreciate it, guys. All right, anything else, AJ?
I am at CJMFA on Twitter.
Oh, I did forget that.
Yeah.
Damn, I guess
It was on one today.
Yeah. At Saint_Able45 on Twitter. Find us there. We would really appreciate it. Follow us in our rants and everything that we do on there. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. As always, obey the NWO. Bye.
Bye.